Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So today we have the fourth Hukam by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, and that is Amrit Vela, jaagnaa. So let's break it down quickly. So Amrit here refers to immortality. Vela is basically Vela, which means a time. Jaagnaa means to wake up. So while that sounds quite confusing, but just remember the idea of immortality, and it makes sense later on in the talk. Now the different definitions we may give for Amrit Vela that you may have heard of, and the most common one which this is talking about is in the morning. So the last pair of the night. So the way that it generally works is that we have 8 pair, which means that 8 sections to the day. So we have from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that is known as the day, and then we have 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. which is known as the night. So with this being said, it's split up into 3. So we have 24 hours in a day, and if you divide that by 3 we get 8 sections. So if you look at 3 to 6, that's seen as the last 3 to 6 a.m. that's seen as the last section of the night. And this is when many Guru Sikhs will wake up. This is what Guru Sahib Ji wants us to do in this Hukam, to wake up at that time. Just quickly, there's other definitions that this life can be Amrit Vela as well. So just being born into a human body and having this opportunity to connect to God, that is also known as Amrit Vela as well. Now if you look at the importance of Amrit Vela, we don't have to go too far into Gurbani, for example. If you look in Sri Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj talks about Amrit Vela, and before that they ask us a question. They say, "Kiv sachiyara hoye, kiv kude tutte pal." So here Maharaj is saying, "Kiv sachiyara hoye." How can we become truthful? Sachiyar here means to be truthful, but how to become one with God, and how to remove that ego? Because after they say, "Kiv kude tutte pal," how can we remove that wall of falseness? And then we'll get answer later on, but just keep that in mind, that question about "Kiv sachiyara hoye." And later on, Guru Sahib Ji asks another question, and they say to us, "Fir ke agge rakhiye, jit disse darbar." So fir ke agge rakhiye, what can I put in front of Vaheguru Ji? Jit disse darbar. Disse here means to see, where I can see the darbar, where I can go to Sachkhand, where I can have darshan of Vaheguru Ji, whether that's here physically or somewhere that hopefully one day we can reach. And then Maharaj says afterwards, "Moho ke bolna na boliye." What words can I speak? Jit sunta de pyar, with I can actually evoke that love of Vaheguru Ji as well. Then Maharaj gives us this answer here by saying, "Amrit Vela sachanao vadiyai vichar." Amrit Vela, so wake up in Amrit Vela. Sachanao, contemplate that true name. Vadiyai vichar, to vichar the greatness of that being Vaheguru Ji. And we can understand that as doing Vaheguru Simran. So Sachanao here can mean doing Vaheguru Simran. Vadiyai vichar, to read Gurbani. These are ways that we can actually get closer to Vaheguru Ji. And if you look at the end of this body, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says to us, "Nanak eve janiye," that actually do these kind of actions. Wake up in Amrit Vela, contemplate their name, and read Gurbani as well. Nanak eve janiye, sab aape sachiyar. And then you will become sachiyar. So remember that question from beforehand, "Give us sachiyara hoye." This is how we can become sachiyar, how we become one with Vaheguru Ji. And that's the reason why we're here. These 52 hukams that we said in the introduction video as well, these are hukams, these are orders to bring us back to Vaheguru Ji. And this is what Guru Sahib is saying to us: wake up in the morning and you become sachiyar. You become one with Vaheguru Ji by just following a simple step. And if you look in Gurbani even further, Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj says to us, "Babiha." Babiha is basically a rainbird. And what a rainbird does, that it wakes up in the morning and it cries out. It cries out for rain. Babiha Amrit Vela Bolia. So they wake up in Amrit Vela, and Bolia here means that basically they're chanting out. So in one way they talk about the rainbird, but they're also talking about us, that we should be like the rainbird as well. Fir Maharaj Kende, they say to us after "Ta dar suni pukar." Ta means and then, Dar means the darbar of Vaheguru Ji. Suni pukar, they hear the cries of this rainbird, but also that person in Amrit Vela who is crying out to Vaheguru Ji, who is singing the praises of Guru Sahib Ji through Japji Sahib, through Jap Sahib, and the other Bani they may be reading. And what happens afterwards? Guru Amar Das Ji tells us, "Mege nur farman hua." Mege here means the clouds. That Guru Sahib Ji gives him a farman, an order, and that order is "Varasoho kirpatar." That now let the Varasohe means the rain. Let the rain fall down on that person, i.e. Amrit. Let the Amrit shower upon that person, i.e. the Amrit Vela, and let them be absorbed in my Gurbani, in my Naam as well. So this is Guru Sahib Ji talking about the importance of Gurbani. And of course it's not that easy to work with Amrit Vela. You may realize that if you've actually tried it before, especially when you start out, but it's almost like a test. The first thing to realize that Amrit Vela is also important because that's when our mind is completely still. We have no thoughts from the world. We've woken up and hopefully the first thing we think about is Guru Sahib Ji. And also that Rajai may feel quite heavy, so that duvet that you got on top of you. And there's quite a funny meme about this as well. And it talks about how you have some people go to the gym, for example, and they lift such heavy weights, they're able to deadlift a lot of weight, but they can't lift that soft, light chadar off them before they wake up in the morning. So if you can lift this heavy weight, but you can't lift the Rajai off you, then how strong really are you mentally? And Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj in the Bani says to us, Tud bin rog, Rajaya da orden. Tud bin rog, that without you, Guru Sahib Ji, without you, Vaig Ji, Rajaya, he means a Rajai is like a disease to me. It's a rog. The orden, if I put that Rajai over me, it's just a disease. What is Guru Sahib Ji saying to us here? An example we could take from this is that actually in that moment when we wake up in the morning and that Rajai feels so heavy on top of us and we don't remove it, that can become like a disease to us. So rog means disease. In what aspect? Maybe not in the physical aspect of the physical body becoming a disease, but maybe in a spiritual sense. That in order to progress spiritually, then we have to wake up in Amrit Vela, and if we don't, then that Rajai is almost like a disease on our spiritual progress to get back to Vaheguru Ji. Another thing that Guru Sahib Ji says to us in Gurbani, a very common shabad by Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj, is Guru Satguru Ka Jo Sikh Akhai So Pal Ke Ut Har Namati Ave. So what Guru Sahib Ji here is saying to us is Guru Satguru Ka, the one who is the Guru, the Satguru, Jo Sikh Akhai. If a Sikh, someone says, I am a Sikh of that Guru, so Pal Ke Ut Har Namati Ave. They'll wake up in the morning. Pal Ke here means in the morning. Har Namati Ave, and put their Dhyan into Naam. And then Guru Ramdas Ji gives us more advice. He says, Udam Kare, make an effort. Make an effort in the morning to wake up. Udam Kare, Pal Ke Parbati. Wake up in Amrit Vela. Isnan Kare, do your Ishnan, bathe in the morning. Amrit Sarna Ave. And then bathe in that Amrit. That even when you're bathing, when you're having your shower, whether you're having your bath, when you're singing Gurbani at that time as well, so don't just be singing any random song, try and sing Gurbani. Even if you don't know any Gurbani, just say Satnam Vaheguru, and even that water will become like Amrit as well. So Maharaj has given us this advice in Gurbani, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji, the son of Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj, who became the 5th Guru, they say to us about Amrit Vela, they say Ut Isnan Karaho Parabate. Say Ut, wake up in the morning and do Ishnan. And then they say to us, Soe Har Arade. Soe he means when you sleep. Har Arade, adore Vaheguru Ji before you go to bed as well. And that's also a tip. So now we've talked a lot about the meaning of Amrit Vela. I've given you some Gurbani references to how important it is. But now some tips to actually wake up. This is the first tip. So the first tip by Guru Sahib Ji is before you go to bed, Soe Har Arade. To worship that one, to adore that one before you go to bed. If you make Vaheguru Ji last thought before you go to bed, then they become that first thought in the morning when you wake up. Other things you can do, one of the most simplest ones is go to sleep earlier. So that's a bit obvious. If you go to sleep earlier, then you'll wake up earlier. Another one that you guys can do is also drink lots of water. So when you wake up in the morning, you have to go to the toilet, and then now you're fully awake. Other things that you can do also is wake up in the morning for a few minutes. So if you've never done Amrit Vela before, this is what I did personally when I was coming onto this path of Sikhi. It was that I'll wake up for 1 minute and just say Vaheguru and go straight back to sleep. That turned to 2 minutes, and then 5 minutes, and etc. So you can start with small steps and build it up. If you've got someone in the house that is already Amritari, who wakes up at that time, early shift for example, then maybe tell them, can you wake me up before you go to work? Or if you're going to wake up anyway, just wake me up, and they can make sure that you wake up in the morning as well. And the last thing that I could also recommend from my own personal Jeevan as well is that, let's just say you go to bed late, like 11, 12 o'clock, and then you wake up at 3 o'clock, you do your Amrit Vela for half an hour, 1 hour, however long you do it in your journey, and afterwards you think you may have to stay awake, and now for the next 17 hours you're really cranky and you're tired. So maybe even go take a short nap as well, go back to sleep afterwards, and then eventually you might get to a stage where you don't need to take that nap as well. Just don't be too hard on yourself, and just take one step at a time to get closer to Guru Sahib Ji. So these are just some tips that Guru Sahib Ji gives to us in Gurbani, but also what we can apply to help us to wake up in Amrit Vela as well. So a key point and I want to raise also is that Amrit Vela is so important, but it doesn't mean you just stop there. So you do your part in the morning, you go have your breakfast, you leave your house, and then you're in the world now. It's meant to be something you take with you into your day. It's like your breakfast in the morning, but this is the breakfast of Gurbani. It fills you with energy, and that fuels you for the day, for your spiritual progress in the day, to get closer to Vaheguru Ji as well. And if we just look at a small Sakhi as well of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj about the importance of Amrit Vela, when Guru Sahib was just a young child, and at that time Maharaj used to never sleep, they would always be awake. And one night when Mata Tripta Ji, who is the mother of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, when they can hear that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is singing Gurbani, when they just meditating upon Vaheguru Ji, Mata Ji comes to see Guru Nanak Dev Ji and they ask, what are you doing? Why are you still awake at this time? And in Sri Rera side, Guru Sahib Ji says to Mata Ji at that time, So kyo visare meri mai, sacha sahib sache nai rahao. So they're saying, So kyo visare, they're saying, how can I forget Vaheguru Ji, that true one? And right at the start of that Shabad, Asa Mahalla Pehla, they say, Akha Jiva Visare Maraja. Akha Jiva, when I say their name, I am alive. Visare Maraja, but when I forget them, then I'm completely dead. And this Akha Jiva, this relates back to Amrit. So we said Amrit is when you're immortal, when you're fully alive. Nothing can destroy, nothing can kill you. In the same way, Akha Jiva, this only comes when we remember that one, when we chant the name. And that's like Amrit Vela, that is Amrit Vela, when we're truly alive and we're immortal at that time. And that only comes through Akha Jiva. And if you look what Bhagat Fariji says about this as well, they say to us, Frida, Pichra Raat na jage ohe. Which means that that person in the Pichra Raat, which means the last pair of the night, if they don't wake up, Jiva Daro, which means that person may be alive, Mohe Ohe. But actually on one side they may feel like they are alive, but actually on the other side they're actually dead. So they're almost walking around like walking dead corpses basically. And then Bhagat Ji says to us in the next Pankti, Jete Rabba Visarya, which means that if that person forgets Vaheguru Ji because they don't wake up in the morning, but do you know Vaheguru Ji does it at that time as well? They say, Te Rabbana Visare Ohe. That means that actually you may have forgotten Vaheguru Ji, but Vaheguru Ji never forgets you. So in that morning we could look at it in a beautiful way that actually Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Vaheguru Ji is waiting for us to wake up. They're waiting for us to wake up, and then they're going to sit with us when we read our Gurbani. Because when we read Gurbani, Guru Sahib Ji is with us all the time, whether it's Amrit Vela or in the day as well. So that's what Bhagat Fariji is saying about this time in Amrit Vela, that this is the time that we should be awake. Akha Jiva Visare Manaja. Be awake and be attuned to that Gurbani. And just a quick note, if you look in the Katha by Pai Jagral Singh, in the 5th and 6th Katha of Sri Rera Sahib, they talk about this Shabad Akha Jiva Visare Maraja as well. So go and check that out as well for more details and more in-depth Katha and explanation on that Shabad about what Guru Nanak Dev Ji is talking about. So now just moving on, we're going to look at 2 more points before we finish. And the first one is, what happens if you work late shifts? So if you work late shifts or you work night shifts for example, then you can't wake up for Amrit Vela because you're pretty much already awake. So there's 2 things that we can do in this situation. The first one is that when you come back from work, you do your Amrit Vela straight away instead of not going to sleep. So you do it and then you go to sleep. Otherwise sometimes if you finish at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, you may be knackered. You may not be able to concentrate on reading Gurbani, doing Simran. So in that case then you'll have to go to sleep. But then when you do wake up, whatever time that is, hopefully not too late, like 12 hours later on, but when you do wake up, make sure the first thing you do is read your Gurbani. Because that is the food. The first food that we should be eating when we wake up is not your Weetabix or your cereal or your cornflakes. It should be your Gurbani. So Bhai Prahlad Singh actually says that before you eat your breakfast in the morning, you should at least do jap. So jap here refers to Japji Sahib and jap to Jap Sahib. But also many people translate that to your actual Nityanim. So in general from Japji Sahib to Anand Sahib. And if you have any other Nityanim that you may do on top of that, that as well. Before you eat that physical food, have the food of Gurbani. And just the last point as well, which is a very important one, is what happens if you miss Amrit Vela. So that's a big question. I mean, the first time I missed Amrit Vela, I was really dukhi. I was really upset. Like, oh my gosh, my Sikhi is over. I missed Amrit Vela. But this is something that in most cases is natural. There may be a time where you do miss Amrit Vela. So the first thing that we could take from the situation is don't be too hard on yourself. It may happen, don't make it into a habit, but it may happen a few times that you do miss Amrit Vela. But that doesn't mean that you don't do your part. Just a quick funny story. I was talking to a kid once, and they were talking about how they missed Amrit Vela and they woke up late and they had to go to school. And I was like, oh, it happens, right? Hopefully it doesn't happen again. I go, but did you do your nityanim? Your Panj Bani? And he goes, yeah, I did. I did Japji side, I did Tuha Prasad Svai, I did Chope side, and I did Anand side. And I go, oh, what about Jap side? And he goes, I didn't get time to do that. I was like, Chal, theek hai, that's fine, you missed it. But you know, when you came back from school, did you do it then? He goes, no. I go, but what about when it's Zahra side? No. What about Sohila side? No. I go, why didn't you do it? He goes, because I missed it in the morning, so then I thought there's no point of doing it. And that's completely wrong. If you've missed a part in the morning, it doesn't mean you've missed it now. You can still do it later on anyway. Obviously you should do it in the morning, but if there is ever a time where you do miss it, still do it in the evening, whenever you do get the time to do it. And this idea of Amrit Vela, why is it called Amrit Vela? It's called Amrit because there's Guru Bani, there's Naam at that time. Without Guru Bani, without Naam, how can that be Amrit Vela? That's the whole importance of it. Guru Bani is the key. Without Guru Bani, then it's just another time in the day. Whether it's a time of more peace, where you can still meditate, whether that's in a Sikhi Gurmat or otherwise a different way, but still it's because there's Naam there's Guru Bani. So make sure we always do our Bani, whether we miss Amrit Vela or not. But of course, the main aspect of this video is to wake up at Amrit Vela, which is generally 3 to 6 in the morning. But many Mahapurukhs and many great Guru Sikhs have said you can even go from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Any time in that range is fine. Just a last point to finish off with, Sangat Ji, is that if you don't want to just do it at home, you can go into Sangat. You go to a Gurdwara Sahib. Many Gurdwara Sahibs have Simran in the morning. So for example, in Southware Park Avenue Gurdwara Sahib, Havelock, Salah, Guru Manyo Granth. In Warsaw we have Darbar, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. There's many Gurdwara Sahibs you can go to in the morning and go and do some Simran. So put some times down for these Gurdwara Sahibs. And for anyone who's watching this video, whether you're from the UK, from a different country, maybe leave the Gurdwara Sahib that you go to in the description and the times that they actually offer Amrit Vela Simran or Nityanim as well. So anyone who's watching this video can check the comments and actually go there as well. So maybe you can even take your friends with you. Go and try it as well. It's a different experience. You're in Saad Circuit now as well, and there's more energy there. There's more Kripa there. So this is the video on Amrit Vela, the 4th Hukam by Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj. Amrit Vela is, in this term, is referring to waking up in the morning between 3 to 6 in the morning and actually chanting God's name, meditating on them, and actually reading Guru Bani. And it's something that we should take into our lives, not just in the morning, but into the day, where we can get closer to Vaheguruji. Guru Bani backs up. Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj has talked about it. Bhagat Farid Ji, Guru Amar Das Ji. There's so many references to it, and it's so important. So let's now try and make the effort to wake up in the morning and to get closer to Guru Sahib Ji as well. So in this video, must have made many mistakes, so please forgive me, Sahib Sangat Ji. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.